SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Thank you, Nancy. High hopes ahead of the budget speech and Australia's foreign minister falls on his sword. Good afternoon. All eyes are on Parliament in Cape Town, where Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan will deliver his budget speech. Economists have warned taxpayers to expect a less generous approach from Gordhan. They say Gordhan faces a difficult balancing act in keeping government borrowing within prudent bounds and finding the money for ambitious government development plans. The South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, SACI, says Gordhan must announce reforms to help provinces balance their books. COSATU's President Dumo Dlamini says expectations are high.
The expectations will be very high that this budget speech this afternoon does give the detail of everything that was indicated there. But to count just a few, it's jobs, decent jobs all the time. We would want to be hearing what the minister promises us or gives us as how we're going to build these jobs.
Statistics South Africa says that South Africa's targeted consumer price inflation quickened to 6.3% year-on-year in January from 6.1% in December. Analysts say the transport costs, education and goods and services contributed to the faster pace of the CPI. Standard Bank's economic unit says that despite the rise in inflation, the country's interest rates outlook remains unchanged in light of this inflation data. Head of Micro Research at Standard Bank, Tabi Luwaka, says it was unexpected.
This was a surprise increase because we had expected 6.2 and consensus had expected 6.2 as well. And I think most people thought that it would be a gradual increase in inflation rather than quick increase to 6.3. But we still see that the main culprits, food and fuel prices, are undermining CPI. But we also see that housing and utilities transport has also picked up this month compared to the previous month.
Tune in to SABC2, SAFM and other PBS stations for the live broadcast of the 2012 budget speech by the Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan from 1330. The SABC News website www.sabc.co.za/news will also provide special coverage of the budget with live streaming of Minister Gordhan's speech from 1400 on the site and the SABC YouTube channel. Northwest Police have opened a case of arson and malicious damage to property at the Impala Platinum Mine in Rustenburg. This follows an attack by striking workers at the mine's number 7 shaft, where a conference centre was burnt down. Police spokesperson Tulani Ngobani says the situation at the mine is tense.
The conference room at shaft number 7A was then burnt down last night. A case of arson has been opened, and we will then also be looking at the arson case. We don't have any arrests there, but our detectives are on course to apprehend some of the people.
The defence in the murder trial of school taxi driver Jacob Humphreys has asked the court not to overemphasise the consequence of the Butskorp level crossing accident. Johan Engelbrecht SC has begun closing arguments in the Western Cape High Court. Vanessa Puna reports.
Engelbrecht has asked Judge Robert Henny to bear in mind that it was one act which resulted in the deaths of 10 children. Judge Robert Henny has replied that the court must measure the action with the consequence. Humphreys was convicted on 10 counts of murder last year. 10 children died when his taxi was hit by an oncoming train when he bypassed a number of cars at a level crossing in Blackheath in August 2010. Humphreys' advocate Engelbrecht submitted that society in South Africa do not take notice of sentences and that Humphreys not be crucified on the altar of being made an example. Vanessa Puna, SABC News at the Western Cape High Court.
Further afield, Australia's Foreign Minister Kevin Rudd has resigned amid widespread reports of a leadership tussle between him and Prime Minister Julia Gillard. He made the announcement at a press conference in Washington, D.C., where he had earlier met U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Gillard ousted Rudd as Prime Minister in June 2010. There has been speculation he plans to challenge her for the top job. Gillard said Rudd did not inform her he intended to resign, while Rudd said he was sad it had come to this. British emergency services in London are testing security plans for the Olympics by simulating the aftermath of an attack on the underground network. About 2,500 people will take part in the drill over the next 2 days.